Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays tribute to Guru Tegh Bahadur at historic Gurdwara Rakabganj Sahib in New Delhi. Home Minister Amit Shah visits Vishwa Bharati University at Shantiniketan in West Bengal. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate improves to impressive 95.51%. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli recommends dissolution of Parliament. And Fit India Cyclothon receives huge response, witnessing participation of around 13 lakh people in first week of launch. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today visited historic Gurdwara Rakabganj Sahib in New Delhi, where the pious Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's mortal remains were cremated. The Prime Minister paid tributes to the courageous Guru Tegh Bahadur who made the supreme sacrifice for a noble cause a few centuries ago. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he felt extremely blessed and as he and millions around the world are deeply inspired by the kindness of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur. He said it is a blessing of the Guru Sahib that the country will mark the special occasion of the 400th Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur during NDA government's tenure. Mr. Modi said, let us mark this blessed occasion in a historic manner and celebrate the ideals of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. The sudden visit of Mr. Modi caught the Gurdwara authorities by surprise as the Prime Minister came at a short notice, and his visit did not cause any inconvenience to devotees as there were no police arrangement or traffic barriers. The Prime Minister had also paid tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji on his Shahidi Divas yesterday. In a tweet, the Prime Minister had said, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's life epitomized courage and compassion. He recalled Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's vision for a just and inclusive society. Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Guru, was born in 1621 and was martyred in 1675 in Delhi. Sikh tradition states that the Guru stood up for the rights of Kashmiri Pandits who approached him to intercede on their behalf with the Emperor Aurangzeb and asked him to revoke a recently imposed tax. He was publicly executed in 1675 on the orders of Emperor in Delhi for defying Mughal rulers.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called on industry to increase the domestic investment drastically in line with the increased confidence of the world. The Prime Minister said even during the coronavirus pandemic, when the whole world is troubled for investment, record foreign direct investment FDI and foreign portfolio investment FPI have come to India as the world trusts the Indian economy now. Mr. Modi was delivering the keynote address virtually at ASSOCHAM Foundation Week 2020 yesterday. The Prime Minister asserted that now India is making new avenues to move forward, moving ahead with new energy. He said the reforms in the country have influenced in changing the sentiment of the industry from why India to why not India in investing.
अब जो रिफॉर्म्स देश में हुए हैं, उनका जो प्रभाव दिखा है, उसके बाद कहा जा रहा है वाई नॉट इंडिया. अब जैसे पहले कहा जाता था कि जब टैक्स रेट इतने ऊंचे हैं तो वाई इंडिया. आज यही लोग कहते हैं कि जहां सबसे अधिक कॉम्पिटिटिव टैक्स रेट्स हैं तो वाई नॉट इंडिया. पहले रेगुलेशंस और रूल्स का जाल था तो स्वाभाविक रूप से चिंता के साथ निवेशक पूछते थे वाई इंडिया. आज वही कह रहे हैं कि लेबर लॉ में ईज ऑफ कंप्लायंस है तो वाई नॉट इंडिया.
Mr. Modi remarked that there was never so much positivity in the world about India's success before. He attributed this positivity to the unprecedented confidence of over 130 crore Indians. The Prime Minister said the world is moving rapidly towards the fourth industrial revolution. The Prime Minister said challenges will come in the form of new technology and many solutions will also come.
दुनिया चौथी औद्योगिक क्रांति की तरफ तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही है। नई टेक्नोलॉजी के रूप में चैलेंजेस भी आएंगे और अनेक नए सरल सॉल्यूशंस भी आएंगे और इसलिए आज वो समय है जब हमें प्लान भी करना है और एक्ट भी करना है। हमें हर साल के हर लक्ष्य को नेशन बिल्डिंग के एक लार्जर गोल के साथ जोड़ना है।
The Prime Minister asked the Indian industry to increase their investments in research and development, especially in sectors like agriculture, defense, space, energy, construction, pharma and transport. He said India is also capable of helping the world while meeting its needs. From farmers to pharma, India has helped the world during the coronavirus pandemic.
भारत अपनी जरूरतों को पूरा करते हुए दुनिया की मदद करने में भी सक्षम है। फार्मर से लेकर के फार्मा तक भारत ने ये कर दिखाया है। कोरोना काल में भी तमाम मुश्किलों के बावजूद भारत ने फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड की जिम्मेदारी निभाते हुए दुनिया भर में जरूरी दवाइयां पहुंचाई है। अब वैक्सीन के मामले में भी भारत अपनी जरूरतें तो पूरी करेगा ही, दुनिया के अनेक देशों की उम्मीदों पर भी खरा उतरेगा।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah today commenced the second day of his two-day visit to West Bengal. He reached Vishwa Bharati University at Shantiniketan in the Birbhum district this morning and paid tributes to Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. He then watched a dance performance based on Rabindranath Tagore's song at the Sangeet Bhavan of the Vishwa Bharati University. The Home Minister also inaugurated a road named Vivekanand Sarani in front of Vishwa Bharati's central office. Later, talking to media at Birbhum, Home Minister Amit Shah said Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose were inspired by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Mr. Shah said Gurudev made Vishwa Bharati hub of cultural activities. He said Tagore's poems are national anthems in two countries. The Home Minister is also scheduled to visit Shyambati in Birbhum. Later in the afternoon, Mr. Shah will hold a roadshow from Hanuman Mandir Stadium Road to Bolpur Crossroads in Birbhum. BJP National Vice President Mukul Roy, Kailash Vijayvargiya and State President Dilip Ghosh are accompanying and were also present. On the first day of his visit to West Bengal yesterday, Mr. Shah addressed a rally in Midnapur. He expressed confidence that the BJP will form the next government in West Bengal with more than 200 seats. He alleged the Mamata Banerjee government is steeped in corruption, resulting in alienation of the masses.
आज लाखों लोगों की हाजिरी में कहने आया हूं मैं, जब विधानसभा के चुनाव का परिणाम आए, परिणाम देख लेना, इस बार 200 सीटों से ज्यादा सीटों के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने जा रही है.
At the rally, Trinamool Congress rebel leader Shivendu Adhikari joined the BJP in the presence of Mr. Shah. Apart from Shivendu Adhikari, 9 MLAs from the TMC, CPM, CPI and Congress also joined the BJP. TMC's Bardhaman East Lok Sabha MP Sunil Mandal, former Minister Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, former Lok Sabha member from North Bengal's Alipurduar Dashrath Tirki and 15 civic body councillors of the TMC and other parties also joined the BJP along with at least 20 district level leaders.
The Election Commission of India has issued advisory to Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Puducherry for transfer and posting of officers connected with conduct of assembly elections to be held next year. The poll panel has advised that government officers directly connected with the conduct of elections must not be posted in her or his home district. It said officers against whom the Commission had recommended disciplinary action in the past and which is pending or which has resulted in a penalty of the officers who have been charged for any lapse in any election or election-related work in the past should not be assigned any election-related duty. Amid corona pandemic, the successful conducting of Bihar Assembly elections has set an example for other states. Election Commission of India has asked Bihar Chief Electoral Officer A.J. Srinivas and Principal Health Secretary Pratya Amrit to train election officials of 5 states of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry, where elections will be held next year. The Commission has appointed these officers as resource persons for training for election officials.
Assam BJP President Ranjit Kumar Das asserted that the anti-CAA movement would not affect the party's poll prospects in the state. Talking to AIR Guwahati correspondent, Mr. Das said that the party had shown good results in Panchayat and Lok Sabha polls despite protests by a section of people against the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA. He said that the BJP-led government would never allow any illegal citizens to stay in the state. He said the BJP-led government took measures to prevent infiltration. The Enforcement Directorate has attached assets worth 11.86 crore rupees belonging to former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah and some others in connection with Jammu Kashmir Cricket Association JKCA scam. While the book value of these attached properties is 11.86 crore rupees, their market value is about 60 to 70 crore rupees. The ED issued provisional attachment order under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and the attached properties are located in Jammu and Srinagar. 2 immovable assets are residential, 1 is commercial property, while 3 other plots of land have also been attached by the Enforcement Directorate. Mr. Abdullah is being investigated over allegations of misappropriating 113 crore rupees that was sent to the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association by the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI. The allegations pertain to a time when he was president of the JKCA. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays tribute to Guru Tegh Bahadur at historic Gurudwara Rakabganj Sahib in New Delhi. Home Minister Amit Shah visits Vishwa Bharati University at Shantiniketan in West Bengal. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate improves to an impressive 95.51%. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli recommends dissolution of Parliament, and Fit India Cyclothon receives huge response, witnessing participation of around 13 lakh people in its first week of launch. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to an impressive 95.51% as more than 29,000 people recovered from COVID in the past 24 hours. The Health Ministry said a total number of recoveries has gone up to over 95,80,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 3.04% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 3,05,000. During the past 24 hours, 26,624 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1,31,000. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.45%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 341 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,45,477. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 11,07,000 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached 16 crore 11 lakh. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said India has crossed the 16 crore COVID-19 tests milestone.
1 मिलियन से 1.5 मिलियन के बीच में रोज टेस्ट हो रहे हैं. 16 करोड़ से ज्यादा टेस्ट भारत में हो गए हैं. केसेस पर मिलियन, डेथ्स पर मिलियन, टेस्ट पर मिलियन, कोई भी पैरामीटर आंकड़े से दुनिया से कंपेयर करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि भारत बेहतर है. इतनी बड़ी मात्रा में देश ने पीपीई की, N95 मास्क की, वेंटिलेटर्स की, दवाइयां, ये सब चीजें उपलब्ध कराई हैं और आज दुनिया के दूसरे देशों को हम देने की स्थिति में है. वैक्सीन भी हम आने वाले महीनों में 30 करोड़ भारत के लोगों को अपने इंडिजिनस वैक्सीन, यानी हम वैक्सीन के प्रोडक्शन के मामले में, वैक्सीन की रिसर्च के मामले में भी आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर प्रधानमंत्री जी के मंत्र के अनुरूप सफलता प्राप्त कर रहे हैं.
Madhya Pradesh continues to report more COVID-19 recoveries than positive cases. So far, more than 2,15,000 patients have recovered in the state. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
According to Health Bulletin of State Department, 1,410 patients recovered yesterday. 27,523 tests have been carried out in the state yesterday, out of which 1,085 new positive cases were reported. Maximum COVID positive case 405 registered at Indore, followed by 171 at Bhopal. With 15 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 3,468. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Gujarat, the Ahmedabad division of Western Railways has created a record by loading 10.06 crore litres of milk and running the highest milk special trains in the Indian Railways during the current year. According to official sources, the railways have continued uninterrupted supply of essential commodities during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic by running special parcel trains. It is reported that a record 132 milk special trains were run from Palanpur to Hind terminal at Palwal even during the COVID-19 pandemic. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
According to the Chief Public Relations Officer of Western Railway, total 7.47 crore litres of milk were loaded by running 110 rakes during the year 2019-20 by Ahmedabad Division. But now it has loaded 132 rakes carrying more than 100 million litres of milk till now during the 2020-21, which is a record in Indian Railways. With this, Ahmedabad Division has set a new record by earning revenue of more than 17 crore rupees, which is 5 crore rupees more as compared to last year. By creating this record, Indian Railway has also fulfilled the milk requirement of the country during the pandemic time. Western Railway has done laudable work by loading more than 25,000 rakes of goods trains. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
With 3,914 new cases, Maharashtra's total caseload of coronavirus patients has increased to over 18 lakhs. According to the state's Public Health Department, 3,111 patients were discharged, taking the total number of recoveries to over 17 lakh. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Maharashtra is seeing a steady decline in COVID-19 cases, allaying the fear of a second round of outbreak of the disease post-Diwali. On the first week of December, the number of fresh cases coming in a day was in the range of 5,500 to 4,500, while in the second week it came down to around 4,000 to 5,000 cases in a day. And in the beginning of third week of this month, it has further come down to around 3,000 to 4,000 cases in a day. Among the densely populated areas of the state, Mumbai has shown a significant improvement with around 8,000 active cases presently, while neighbouring Thane district surpassing it with more than 10,500 cases. Pune is still the major contributor in the state with more than 17,000 active cases at present. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Karnataka Health and Family Welfare Department has stated that the state has enough cold chain systems, storage and transport capacity for COVID-19 vaccine program. The statement is issued in the background of a media report that had cast doubt on storage, delivery and administrating capacity of COVID-19 vaccine in the state. More from a Bangalore correspondent.
The Department of Health and Family Welfare in the state has refuted media report that state lacks infrastructure to administer the COVID vaccine. It has clarified that out of total of 28,932 cold chain points in the country under Universal Immunization Program, Karnataka alone has 2,870 cold chain points which can be used for COVID-19 vaccine storage. The state has 2 state vaccine stores at Bengaluru and Belagavi and 5 regional vaccine stores at Chitradurga, Mysore, Mangaluru, Kalaburgi and Bagalkote with walk-in coolers and walk-in freezers equipped to store large quantities of vaccine at regional levels and distribute further to districts. The statement issued by the department also says that every district in Karnataka and BBMP has sufficient ice-lined refrigerators and deep freezers to store vaccines at district level. All the districts have insulated vaccine vans dedicated to supply vaccines to all the health facilities in the districts up to PHC level. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Global COVID-19 infections surpassed the 75 million mark yesterday as several nations around the world began vaccinating against the virus. Britain became the first Western country to start immunizing with the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech, followed by the United States. However, Britain imposed tighter coronavirus curbs on millions of people as the country battles a new, more infectious strain of COVID-19. The number of cases in England has soared in the last 2 weeks because of a new variant of the virus that scientists said is up to 70% more infectious. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said the country cannot continue with Christmas as planned.
As Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country. Given the early evidence we have on this new variant of the virus, the potential risk it poses, it is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned. As before, there will be no relaxation on the 31st of January, so people must not break the rules at New Year.
Europe remains the region with the most cases, 21.6 million cases, followed by North America with 17.9 million, Latin America with 14.5 million, and Asia with 13 million. In Europe, 1 million new cases were recorded over just 5 days, with Russia and France reporting more than 2 million cases since the coronavirus outbreak began. The United Kingdom and Italy both have approximately 1.9 million cases each. The United States became the first country in the world to record more than 300,000 deaths last week. The nation is reporting more than 2,500 deaths daily from the previous 7 days.
In our special series Year Ended 2020, today we bring you a report on the initiatives taken by the NDA government for the empowerment of women. Women's safety and empowerment is an integral part of the NDA government's policy making, governance and agenda. In an ode to Nari Shakti on the occasion of Durga Puja in October this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi cited the initiatives taken by his government for women empowerment.
नारी शक्ति हमेशा हमेशा से भी सभी चुनौतियों को परास्त करने की ताकत रखती है। ऐसे में ये सभी का दायित्व है कि संगठित रूप से सभी उनके साथ खड़े हों। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के विचार यही है, संस्कार यही है और संकल्प भी यही है।
Director of the Center for Social Research, Ranjana Kumari, told AIR News that financial empowerment of women is necessary for gender equality.
आत्मनिर्भरता की बात हो रही है, मेक इन इंडिया की बात उस समय चली थी, लेकिन ये सब तभी संभव है जबकि ये 5 लिंक की जिनकी बात हम लोग हमेशा करते हैं कि क्रेडिट से लिंक करिए, मार्केट से लिंक करिए, स्किल से लिंक करिए, इंश्योरेंस से लिंक करिए औरतों की जो रोजगार है और साथ साथ में उनकी क्षमता वर्धन का काम हो, तब जाकर के फिर महिलाएं इस समय रोजगार के क्षेत्र में आएंगी और एक बार आर्थिक रूप से स्वावलंबी बन जाए तो फिर शायद महिलाओं को तमाम इस तरह के जो संकट से जूझना पड़ता है और खासतौर से हिंसा के संकट से वो शायद उतना उनको ना जूझना पड़े।
Our correspondent takes a look at how the NDA government has been working steadfast in its resolve amidst the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure dignity and welfare of women.
Women and Child Development Ministry has implemented Anganwadi services, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana and Scheme for Adolescent Girls under the umbrella Integrated Child Development Services Scheme as targeted interventions to address the problem of malnutrition in the country. Poshan Abhiyan aims to achieve improvement in nutritional status of children up to 6 years of age, adolescent girls, pregnant women and lactating mothers in a time-bound manner by leveraging technology, convergence and Jan Andolan. The third Rashtriya Poshan Mah was celebrated from 7th to 30th September this year through virtual mode. Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani urged people to share traditional recipes of their region and family to build a database of indigenous food items with high nutrition value.
भारत सरकार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी की प्रेरणा से देश के इतिहास में पहली बार एक अनोखा प्रयास कर रहा है। हमारी कोशिश है कि हम एक वेबसाइट पर एक अनोखी जानकारी हर जिले की लेकर आए कि उस जिले में वो कौन सी फसल है, कौन सा फल है, कौन सी सब्जी है जो एक संतुलित आहार का हिस्सा बन सकती है। और हमारी ये कोशिश अधूरी रहेगी जब तक इसमें आपकी भागीदारी न हो।
The ministry also signed an MOU with Ayush Ministry this year to control malnutrition through integration of Ayush systems under the umbrella ICDS program. Due to concerted efforts, recent data says maternal mortality ratio of India per 1 lakh live births has declined to 113 in 2016-18 from 122 in 2015-17 and 130 in 2014-16. An estimated 51.70 lakh beneficiaries per annum are covered under Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana throughout the nation. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, which was launched to address the declining child sex ratio, has led to nationwide awareness and multi-sectoral intervention. The government is pushing for women empowerment in India in a big way, while the citizens need to play their role in enabling dignity, safety and welfare of women. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi. Reform-linked borrowing permissions are facilitating ease of doing business reforms
5 states have so far completed the stipulated reforms in the ease of doing business. Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Telangana have been granted permission to mobilize additional financial resources to the tune of 16,728 crore rupees through open market borrowings. The ease of doing business is an important indicator of the investment-friendly business climate in the country. Improvement in the ease of doing business will enable faster future growth of the state economy.
The Uttar Pradesh government has launched special campaign Varasat to curb property and land-related disputes in rural areas. This is a first of its kind campaign to end the nagging land-related issues in the rural areas. It is aimed at eradicating the exploitation of the villagers in the name of land and property. This special campaign will continue till the 15th of February next year. More from a Lucknow correspondent.
The campaign started on the initiatives of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Varasat will not only end the long-pending land dispute, but will also put a check on the land mafia who generally target disputed lands, especially in rural areas. Official spokesperson said in Lucknow yesterday that the new initiative is expected to settle case pending for years in the around 1 lakh revenue villages of the state. Under the arrangements, people will get both online and offline facility for registering the Varasat. For the people who have land in villages but they are living at some other places, a special counter will be opened at tehsil level where they can apply for the same. After the Varasat exercise, people will get proper paper documentation of their land property and could also get loan from bank. MS Yadav, Yaya News, Lucknow.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold virtual summit with his Vietnamese counterpart Nguyen Xuan Phuc tomorrow. During the summit, the two leaders will exchange views on wide-ranging bilateral, regional and global issues and provide guidance for the future development of India-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the centenary celebrations of Aligarh Muslim University on Tuesday through video conferencing. The Prime Minister will also release a postal stamp during the event. Chancellor of the University, Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, and Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will also be present on the occasion. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has recommended the dissolution of the parliament at an emergency meeting of the cabinet this morning. The emergency cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Oli has decided to recommend President Bidya Devi Bhandari for the dissolution of Parliament's House of Representatives, a senior standing committee member of the ruling Nepal Communist Party NCP told the media. The Prime Minister has summoned this meeting today after a series of meetings with party's top leadership and ministers yesterday. The House of Representatives, elected in 2017, has 275 members. It is reported that Prime Minister Oli has reached Rashtrapati Bhavan with the decision of the Council of Ministers.
The second edition of Fit India Cyclothon is getting huge response all over the country, witnessing participation of around 13 lakh people in the first week of launch. This mega cycling event started on the 7th of this month and participants from across the country are participating in this. Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju recently launched the event through social media. Till 15th of this month, over 12 lakh 50,000 people participated in the Fit India Cyclothon and completed more than 57 lakh and 50,000 kilometers of cycling. This event will continue till the 31st of December. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Cold wave will continue to prevail in several parts of North India. In national capital Delhi, minimum temperature was 3 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 22 degrees. In Mumbai, temperature will vary between 21 and 33 degrees Celsius. In Chennai, the temperature will hover between 24 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata witnessed a minimum temperature of 11 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 23 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between minus 6 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 4 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Leh is expected to have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was minus 15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is likely to be minus 1 degree. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between minus 7 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees. Muzaffarabad is expected to have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature is 1 and maximum is expected to be around 15 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays tribute to Guru Tegh Bahadur at the historic Gurdwara Rakabganj Sahib in New Delhi. Home Minister Amit Shah visits Vishwa Bharati University at Shantiniketan in West Bengal. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate improves to impressive 95.51%. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli recommends dissolution of Parliament. And Fit India Cyclothon receives a huge response, witnessing participation of around 13 lakh people in the first week of launch. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the Midday News.